Jaden stared at the empty chair in his room and felt a hollow ache in his chest. Every morning, he woke up expecting to see Lily's bright smile at the breakfast table. Instead, there was only silence. She had moved 2 months ago to a city he had never visited, chasing her dream of studying art. Since then, her daily talks over coffee and shared jokes about everything from school to silly cartoons had ended. Jaden felt lost without her steady presence. He tried to fill his days with work and hobbies. At the gym, he pushed himself harder than ever, lifting weights until his arms trembled. In the evenings, he practiced guitar chords he once played for Lily, but the songs sounded empty without her humming along. Friends invited him out, but each laugh reminded him of the times when Lily had been the first to cheer at his jokes. He smiled politely, but inside he felt gray and distant. Rainy afternoon, Jaden walked through the park where he and Lily had carved their initials into the old oak tree. The scrape of bark under his fingertips brought back memories of carefree days picnics by the pond, silly dances under the sun, and the way Lily had leaned her head on his shoulder as they watched clouds drift by. Now he stood alone, rain tapping his jacket, and he realized how much he missed her voice, her laughter, and the warmth of her friendship. Back in his room, Jaden pulled out his phone and scrolled through old messages, heart emojis, silly selfies, and drawings she had sent him. His thumb hovered over the screen. He wanted to write, but the words felt heavy. What could he say that she hadn't heard? How could he reconnect without sounding needy? He typed, "Hey, how are you?" then deleted it. "Miss you," he hesitated. Would she think he was clingy? Would she even reply? That night, Jaden tossed and turned. Moonlight danced on his ceiling, reminding him of the nights when he and Lily stayed up late talking about their dreams. He sat up and whispered into the darkness, "I want to be strong like you." He remembered how she had comforted him when he felt weak, telling him that humans could endure hard times and grow from them. That was the HFY spirit she had taught him, humanity's ability to hope and to help each other. Early the next morning, Jaden decided to try something new. Instead of sending a plain text, he would send a small gift. He grabbed his sketchbooks, something he hadn't used in weeks, and drew a simple picture of the oak tree with their initials inside a heart. Underneath, he wrote, "Wherever you go, we carry our memories. Let's make new ones." He photographed the sketch and attached it to his message. His finger trembled as he pressed send. Then he waited. Minutes felt like hours. He paced around his room, replaying every moment he and Lily had shared, closed his eyes and pictured her smile. He reminded himself that reaching out took courage, and that even if she was busy, she would understand how much he cared. Finally, his phone buzzed. Lily's name appeared on the screen. His heart pounded as he opened her reply. "Jaden, this is beautiful. I miss you too." Tears of relief gathered in his eyes. She wrote about her first weeks in the new city, the challenges of classes, and how she felt lonely sometimes. She thanked him for the drawing and said it made her day brighter. They talked late into the night, sharing stories and laughter that felt as real as when they were side by side. Jaden told her about the gym and the songs he practiced, Lily described, the art studio where she spent hours painting. They planned a video call for the weekend, promising to explore Lily's new favorite cafe together over the screen. In the days that followed, Jaden felt lighter. He realized that distance could not break the bond they had built. By reaching out with honesty and creativity, he had shown the same HFY spirit Lily admired, humanity's power to connect, to lift each other up, and to keep hope alive even when things seemed bleak. A month later, Jaden and Lily met in person. For the first time since her move, she surprised him by visiting his town, carrying her paintings in a portfolio. They returned to the park and found the oak tree. Together, they added a new heart around their initials. "You're done." Jaden looked at Lily and smiled, feeling no distance between them. He knew that no matter where life took them, they would always find a way to reconnect, because hope and human kindness would guide them back to each other. Sophia sat on the windowsill, watching gray clouds drift across the sky. She held her phone in both hands as if it might slip away. Each message she opened felt like an echo of her loneliness. Marco had moved to another country 6 weeks ago, and every day felt heavier without his jokes and stories. She tried to stay busy at school. She joined the debate club and stayed late to practice speeches. She learned how to stand tall and speak clearly, but when she returned home, the silence pressed in on her. The empty chair at the dinner table reminded her of Marco's laugh. After class, Sophia went to the community garden where she and Marco had planted sunflowers last summer. The plants were tall now, their faces turned to the sun. She knelt to touch a petal, remembering Marco's gentle teasing when she first got dirt on her boots. A single drop of rain fell, and she shivered. That night, she stared at her phone's blank screen. She wanted to call Marco, but she worried she would sound needy. He had new friends now, a new life. Could he still care about her small troubles? She opened the contacts list and scrolled to his name, then closed the phone and sighed. The next morning, she walked to school with determination. She decided she would write a letter by hand. In class, she pulled out colorful pens and fancy paper. Each sentence came from her heart, the way she missed his stories over lunch. How she thought of him when she saw the sunflowers, and how she wanted him to know she believed in him. After school, Sophia folded the letter neatly and put it in an envelope. She drew a small sunflower on the front and wrote, "For Marco, who makes my world brighter." She mailed it at the post office, her heart pounding. She pressed her palm against the glass window, imagining the letter traveling across oceans. Days passed without a reply. Sophia felt her hopes slipping away. Her smile faded, and she found it hard to focus at school. One afternoon, her debate partner, Arya, noticed her quiet mood. "Are you okay?" Arya asked. Sophia shook her head and then told her about Marco. Arya listened and suggested they create a video message together. Sophia felt a spark of excitement. That evening, she and Arya met at Sophia's house. They set up a phone on a tripod in the living room and made a short video. Sophia spoke about her day, shared a funny story about their art class, and held up the sunflowers from the garden. Arya added a farewell wave and a thumbs dash up. When the video was ready, Sophia hesitated before hitting send. She reminded herself that human kindness and honesty were stronger than fear. She tapped send and watched the progress bar. Then she closed her eyes and took a deep breath, feeling brave. The next morning, a notification lit up her screen. Marco had replied. His voice filled the room, warm and joyful. He said he loved the video and told her how much he missed her. He showed his new bedroom, pointing to the small painting he had made of the sunflower. Sophia's heart soared. They talked for nearly an hour. Marco described his classes and the funny accent he was learning. He asked about her debate club and the garden. Sophia laughed through tears when he tried to pronounce the name of their school. They promised to send more videos and letters. After the call ended, Sophia felt light and hopeful. She looked at the sunflower drawing on her desk and smiled. Distance had not broken their bond. It had only changed how they stayed close. She realized that to reconnect, she had to use her own strength and creativity, the very HFY spirit Marco admired. Over the next weeks, Sophia and Marco exchanged recipes, drawings, and short stories. Each message reminded them of home and of each other's dreams. Sophia practiced writing letters in his language, and Marco tried simple phrases in hers. Their friendship grew stronger across time zones. One Sunday morning, Sophia took a photo of the blooming sunflowers in the garden. She sent it to Marco with a note. "Our roots reach far," he replied with a picture of him holding a sunflower from his new garden. They both laughed at how different the flowers looked, but how they shared the same bright heart. Sophia closed her journal and stood by the window. The sun broke through the clouds, lighting the room in gold. She felt proud of herself for reaching out, for showing hope and courage. She knew that no matter how far people moved, the human spirit could bridge any distance. With a smile, she picked up her phone and started composing her next letter. She wrote about the garden, the debate club, and the little victories that filled her days. She signed it, "Your friend, always." Then she mailed it, her heart full of hope and faith in connection. Liam sat at his desk, staring at the blank page of his notebook. He had planned to write a letter to Emma, who moved across the country last month, but he did not know what to say. Every idea felt too simple, like "I miss you," or "How are you?" He worried those words would not show how much he cared. He closed the notebook and leaned back, feeling a heavy sadness that made his chest ache. He wanted to reconnect, but did not know how to start. The next morning, Liam walked through his neighborhood with his phone in his hand. He scrolled through old photos of him and Emma laughing on a park bench, sharing ice cream, playing chess under the oak tree. Each picture reminded him of their easy friendship and the way Emma had always encouraged him to try new things. He smiled sadly at the memory of her brave advice when he first learned to ride a bike. He missed her courage and gentle spirit. At work, Liam served coffee at the local cafe. Customers chatted over lattes and muffins, but he felt distant, as if he were behind a glass wall. He handed a cup to a regular customer and forced a smile. After the rush, he cleaned tables and thought of Emma's love for small gestures. She had once left a simple note on his desk that read, "You brighten my day," and he had kept it in his wallet for months. Maybe a small gesture could spark their friendship again. That evening, Liam went to the art supply store. He picked up colored pencils, markers, and a blank journal. He remembered how Emma used to draw little sketches in the margins of her notes. He bought a pack of sticky notes too, colorful and bright. Then he headed home with a plan forming in his mind. He would create a memory journal for Emma, full of drawings and notes about their favorite moments. At home, Liam spread the supplies across his kitchen table. He drew a simple map of their town, marking the cafe, the library, and the park where they once danced in the rain. And next to each spot, he wrote a short memory. First time we tried caramel macchiatos and our book club meeting under the old elm. He sketched smiling faces and small hearts. With each page, he felt lighter, as if the act of creating was healing his sadness. When the journal was full, Liam placed it in a padded envelope. He also added a bundle of sticky notes, with little reminders: "You are brave, you are kind, and you are missed." He wrote on the envelope, "For Emma, from your friend who believes in you." As he sealed it, he felt a flutter of hope. He had shared his heart in colors and words. He would mail it first thing in the morning. The next day, he dropped the envelope at the post office. The clerk stamped it with a bright red mark. Liam watched it slide into the outgoing bin and imagined it traveling across mountains and rivers. He pictured Emma opening the package, her fingers tracing the map and her smile growing with each memory. He hoped his gift would show his HFY spirit, humanity's power to reach out with kindness and creativity. That evening, Liam returned to the cafe after his shift. He opened his notebook and wrote, "I sent something today. I hope it brings you joy." He hesitated before texting Emma. He tapped send and then closed his eyes. He reminded himself that reaching out was a brave act and that hope was stronger than fear. 2 days later, his phone buzzed with Emma's name. He took a deep breath and opened her message. "Liam, this is the best gift ever. I love the journal and the notes. Each page reminded me of you and home. Thank you for believing in us." His heart soared. She sent a photo of her reading the journal on her desk, sticky notes scattered around. Liam felt warmth spread through him like sunshine after rain. They talked on video call that night. Emma showed him her new apartment and the poster she hung above her bed, painting of the oak tree where they danced. Liam laughed when she held up one of his sticky notes and read it aloud. They planned to share photos and sketches every week. As they said goodnight, Liam felt no distance between them. He knew that human hope and kindness could cross any miles, and that their friendship would grow stronger than ever. Noah sat on the edge of the pier, watching the sun sink into the wide lake. He felt the quiet pull at his chest, like a gentle tug reminding him of everything he had lost. 2 months ago, his best friend Leo had moved to a distant city to attend university. Since then, their daily routines of morning walks and evening video game matches had ended. Noah missed Leo's easy laugh and the way he always knew which song to play when Noah felt down. Each day, Noah tried to fill the hours. He practiced, drawing the lake's distant islands in his sketchbook, and volunteered at the community garden, planting seedlings in neat rows. The work helped his hands stay busy, but his mind kept drifting back to Leo's empty spot on the bench at the garden. Pathy remembered Leo teaching him to plant tomatoes and sharing stories about late-night stargazing. Now Noah felt alone, craving that shared warmth. One rainy afternoon, Noah stood under a canopy by the garden gate and stared at his phone. The screen offered only silence, no new messages, no video call invitations, nothing from Leo. He felt a heavy knot of worry. Was Leo too busy? Had something gone wrong? He wanted to reach out, but every time he tapped Leo's name, fear held his thumb back. What if Leo had forgotten him? What if he sounded lonely or needy? That evening, Noah's mother noticed his gloomy mood. She brought him a cup of herbal tea and sat beside him on the couch. "You miss him," she said gently. Noah nodded, wrapping his hands around the warm mug. His mother smiled. "People care about you," she said. "Your friendship matters. Sometimes we need to try new ways to show it." She suggested he send Leo a care package with things that reminded him of home. Inspired, Noah gathered small treasures. He picked fresh lavender from the garden, sealed it in a small cloth pouch, and tied it with twine. He baked Leo's favorite oatmeal cookies, their sweet smell filling the kitchen. He printed a few of his landscape sketches of the lake and islands, each one labeled with a date and a short note. He included a handwritten letter, simple and honest. He missed Leo. He believed in their friendship. And he was proud of Leo's new adventure. Noah packed everything into a sturdy box and decorated it with colorful stickers. On the top, he wrote, "For Leo when home feels far away." He took the package to the post office the next morning. As the clerk stamped the box, Noah felt a rush of hope. He imagined Leo opening it, breathing in the lavender scent, tasting the cookies, and seeing the drawings. He hoped his friend would feel close to home again. Days passed without word. Noah focused on his art and garden work, but he watched for the mailman every afternoon. When no letter came, he felt the old worry creep back. He considered sending a text to ask if Leo got the box, but he hesitated, did not want to sound impatient. Instead, he decided to trust the process and believe that Leo would respond when he could. One morning, Noah found an envelope on his desk with Leo's neat handwriting on the front. His heart pounded as he opened it. Inside, there was a small drawing of the garden bench where they had sat planting tomatoes. Leo had written, "The lavender reminds me of summer evenings with you. The cookies were perfect, and your sketches make me feel at home here. I'm sorry I've been slow to write. University life is busy, but I think of you often. Let's keep sharing our stories." Noah felt tears of relief and happiness fill his eyes. That night, Noah video called Leo. The screen lit up with Leo's smiling face, framed by the dim glow of his dorm room. They talked for hours, sharing news of new classes and new friends, but also of small, everyday moments. Leo asked about the garden's progress and the sketches, and Noah told him about the first tomatoes that had ripened.
Ow.
They laughed when Leo tried to show his own art, holding up a shaky drawing of his roommate's cat. Their voices carried warmth across the miles. By the end of the call, Noah felt lighter than he had in weeks. He realized that distance had changed how they stayed connected, but it had not broken their bond. He admired Leo's courage for moving so far and trusted that their friendship could grow stronger in new ways. With hope renewed, Noah went to bed imagining future plans. A visit next holiday, more art swaps and afternoon calls by the lake even, if only through a screen, in the days that followed. Noah and Leo exchanged small surprises, photos of new city streets, playlists of their favorite songs, and scribbled drawings in digital form. Each message reminded them of home and of each other's support. Noah learned that human kindness and creativity, the very HFY spirit they both believed in, could bridge any distance. And in that knowledge, he found peace, ready to face each new day with hope and the certainty that true friendship endures. Evan sat on the windowsill, gazing at the empty street below. His best friend Maya had moved to a new town 3 months ago. Every morning, he woke up half expecting her laugh to echo through the hallway. Now, his house felt too quiet. He missed their long talks about dreams, their shared jokes, and the way Maya always helped him feel brave. Evan felt a dull ache in his chest. He wanted to reconnect, but did not know how. He tried to keep busy. After school, Evan joined the robotics club. The metal gears and wires distracted his hands, but his mind kept drifting back to Maya. At home, he took up baking, following simple recipes for cookies and muffins. The sweet smell filled the kitchen, but the treats tasted empty when he ate them alone. He even started jogging in the park where he and Maya used to race. His legs grew stronger, but his heart felt weak without his friend by his side. One rainy afternoon, Evan pulled out his phone. He scrolled through old photos of him and Maya, sharing hot chocolate, building a pillow fort, and watching comets streak across the sky. Each memory felt like a warm light fading in the dark. He tapped her name in his contacts, then backed away. What could he say? How could he reach out without seeming lonely? He opened a new text, typed "Hey," then deleted it. He tried again. "I hope you are okay." He paused, unsure if those words were enough. That night, Evan lay in bed, thinking about how Maya had once shared her love of music with him. She had made him a mixtape of her favorite songs, complete with little notes about why each song mattered. He realized he could return the favor. With a spark of hope, he sat up and reached for his old MP3 player. He spent the next hour selecting songs that reminded him of Maya, upbeat tracks for her bright spirit, got melodies for her gentle heart, and a few new ones he thought she would like. The next day, Evan decorated a simple CD case with colored markers. On the cover, he wrote a friend's playlist, "To Light Your Way." Inside, he printed a list of song titles with short notes. "This reminds me of our first camping trip. I thought you would love this new song I found." He wrapped the CD in a small ribbon and placed it in a padded envelope along with a handwritten letter. In the letter, he wrote how proud he was of Maya for following her dreams, how much he missed her, and how he believed their friendship could grow stronger even from afar. Evan walked to the postbox with the package. In his backpack, the cool wind blew, and he shivered, but he kept going. At the post office, he handed the envelope to the clerk. When he left, he felt both nervous and hopeful. He imagined Maya opening the package, hearing the music, and reading his words. He believed that small acts of kindness could bridge any distance. 3 days later, Evan found a letter in his mailbox. Maya's handwriting danced across the envelope. His heart pounded as he tore it open. Inside, Maya had written, "Evan, your playlist was the best surprise. Every song made me smile and remember you. I have started making my own mixtape to send back. I miss you too, and I feel your support all the way here." She included a photo of herself listening to the playlist, a big grin on her face. Evan felt warmth spread through him like sunshine breaking through clouds. That evening, Evan and Maya talked over video chat. They danced to the songs from his playlist, laughing when they tried to sing along. Maya showed him around her new room, pointing out posters and books. Evan told her about the robotics club's latest project and the muffins he had baked. As they spoke, the distance between them vanished. Each word carried the kindness and hope that humans share when they care for one another. In the days that followed, Evan and Maya exchanged playlists, drawings, and short stories. They planned a virtual movie night and promised to meet again next summer. Evan learned that true friendship could endure miles as long as people showed their care with creativity and kindness. He felt proud of himself for reaching out, for showing the human spirit at its best. And he knew that no matter how far Maya moved, their bond would stay strong. Guided by hope and the simple power of being there for each other, Mia sat at her desk, staring at the blank canvas in front of her. She had bought it weeks ago, when her cousin Alex still lived down the street. Now Alex had moved to a city far away, chasing a job in graphic design. Every brushstroke Mia tried felt empty without Alex beside her, offering gentle advice and cheering her on. She felt a hollow sadness in her chest and wished she could talk to Alex like before, but she did not know how to begin. Each morning, Mia woke up and reached for her phone, expecting a message from Alex about a new project or a funny sketch. When there was nothing, she felt the quiet press in around her. She tried to fill her days with work at the library, shelving books and helping visitors find stories about art or travel. But each time she walked past the section where Alex and she once read picture books, she felt the memory of their laughter. After work, Mia walked to the little art supply shop on Main Street. Bright paints and colorful pencils lined the shelves. The owner, Mrs. Rivera, greeted her warmly. Mia told her she was looking for something special, but she felt shy saying why. Mrs. Rivera watched her for a moment, then suggested a set of small watercolor postcards. "You can send your art to someone you miss," she said kindly. Mia's heart lifted. That was the idea she needed. That evening, Mia spread her supplies across the dining table: brushes, watercolor pans, and a stack of blank postcards. She chose one and dipped her brush in soft green paint. On the card, she painted the small garden where she and Alex had planted sunflowers. In the corner, she added 2 tiny figures holding hands. Underneath, she wrote, "Thinking of you," in our favorite spot. On the next card, she painted their old treehouse and wrote, "I miss our secret hideout." She made a dozen cards, each with a simple scene and a few words of memory and hope. When the postcards were dry, Mia found a bright envelope decorated with stickers of stars and flowers. She placed the postcards inside and wrote, "To Alex May, these pictures bring you home." Then she addressed it to Alex's new address. Careful to get every detail right, her hands trembled as she sealed the envelope. She felt both nervous and nervous that Alex might be too busy to reply. Hopeful that art could speak when words alone felt hard. The next morning, Mia walked to the mailbox at the end of her street. The sun was low in the sky, and the air felt fresh. She slid the envelope into the slot and watched it disappear, imagining it traveling across highways and fields to reach Alex. She whispered, "I hope you like them," and turned to go home. Days passed without news. Mia filled her time with art projects and library events, but she thought of Alex each day. She worried that Alex had too many new friends or too much work. She wondered if her postcards had gotten lost. Each unreturned call made her heart ache, and she felt the old sadness return. One Friday afternoon, Mia found a thick envelope waiting on her desk at the library. Her name was written in Alex's neat handwriting. She tore it open and found a stack of watercolor postcards, too. Each one showed a scene from Alex's new city: tall buildings with rooftop gardens, a busy art studio, and a small cafe with a bright red door. On the back of each card, Alex had written notes. "This cafe reminds me of our baking days, and I painted this rooftop garden while thinking of our sunflowers." Mia felt tears of joy fill her eyes. Alex's cards were like a bridge reaching back to her. At the bottom of the stack, there was a letter. "Dear Mia, your postcards made my heart sing. I missed you so much. I am sorry I could not write sooner. My new job is busy, but your art reminded me of home. I want to share my world with you. Let's keep painting together, even from afar. Love, Alex." That evening, Mia set up her laptop and video called Alex. The screen lit up with Alex's smiling face, framed by colorful posters and sketches. They talked for hours, sharing stories of new places and old memories. Mia showed Alex her latest watercolor of a moonlit lake, and Alex held up a sketch of a starry sky over the city. They planned to send art supplies back and forth and to make a joint painting on a shared online canvas. As they said goodnight, Mia felt a warm glow of hope. She realized that although Alex had moved far away, their friendship had grown stronger. Through art and effort, she had found a way to reconnect by sharing the human heart with paint and paper. That was the true HFY spirit, the courage to reach out, the kindness to share creativity, and the hope that distance could never break the bond between caring friends. Mia closed her laptop and turned to her canvas again. She picked up her brush, dipped it in soft blue paint, and made her first stroke. She smiled, knowing that this painting would be for Alex and that they would paint together, side by side, no matter how many miles lay between them. ChatGPT said, Oliver sat on the worn wooden bench in the small park, watching leaves drift across the grass. He looked at his phone, wishing for a message from Sarah. She had moved to another country 4 months ago, and every day without her felt empty. Their daily walks here, laughing about nothing and sharing dreams, were gone. Oliver felt a quiet ache in his heart. He missed Sarah's kindness, her bright ideas, and the way she always made him feel braver. He tried to keep busy. At work, he stayed late organizing files in the old library where they once studied together. The hush of the stacks usually calmed him, but now it only reminded him of her voice reading stories by his side. After work, he practiced his guitar in the living room, replaying chords they had learned together. The notes sounded hollow without Sarah singing along. He smiled at the memory, then sighed as silence filled the room again. One cloudy afternoon, Oliver walked to the community center, where he and Sarah had taught children painting classes. He entered the bright studio and looked at the empty easels. He remembered Sarah's gentle guidance as they encouraged shy kids to dip brushes into paint. A wave of sadness washed over him. He wanted to reach out to her, but he did not know what she needed or how to help from so far away. That night, Oliver sat at his desk, tapping his pen on a blank sheet of paper. He thought of writing Sarah a letter, but he worried it would feel too old-fashioned. He considered texting her, but simple words like "hi" or "how are you" felt too small. He closed his eyes and remembered Sarah's love of stories and surprises. She once surprised him with a short story she had written about them exploring an ancient library. He realized she loved small creative gifts. Inspired, Oliver had an idea. He logged into an online platform where friends could share short audio messages and drawings. He opened a new project and recorded a few seconds of the morning birds he heard outside his window, and he sketched a simple map of their favorite park bench in the studio. I added a short voice note. "I miss our walks and our art classes. I hope your days are bright." He saved the file and stared at it, nerves fluttering in his chest. Would she listen? Would she care? The next morning, Oliver sent the package of audio and images to Sarah's email. He wrote a quick message. "I made this for you. It is small, but it comes from my heart." He pressed send and watched the message disappear from his outbox. He took a deep breath and reminded himself that human compassion and creativity were strong. Even a tiny connection could bring warmth across any distance. For 2 days, Oliver thought about nothing else. He checked his inbox every hour, hoping for a reply. He worried that Sarah had not received his message or that she was too busy to respond. He did his best to focus on work and practice guitar, but his attention kept drifting back to the email. He paced through the library aisles, imagining how Sarah might react when she heard the bird song and saw the map. On the third evening, a notification pinged on his phone. His heart leaped as he opened the email. Sarah had replied, "Oliver, this is wonderful. Could hear the birds and feel like I was back on our bench. Your map made me smile. Thank you for thinking of me." She attached a voice note of her own, the sound of rain on her window, and a drawing of her new painting studio. Oliver pressed play and closed his eyes, feeling tears of relief and joy welling up. That night, they arranged a video call. Oliver placed his laptop on the kitchen table and logged in. Sarah's face appeared, smiling in soft light. They talked for hours, sharing stories of their new routines and old memories. Sarah described her art projects and how she used Oliver's audio to calm her when she felt lonely. Oliver showed her a new sketch of the library where he worked, and Sarah laughed. At his attempt to draw the tall shelves, by the end of the call, Oliver felt lighter than he had in months. He realized that distance had changed how they stayed connected, but it had not weakened their bond. Through creativity, honesty, and a bit of courage, he had shown Sarah that he still cared. He admired her for following her dreams, and she admired him for reaching out in a new way. Their friendship grew stronger, built on shared hope and human kindness. In the days that followed, Oliver and Sarah exchanged small gifts of sound recordings, sketches, and short stories. They planned future visits and online art collaborations. Oliver learned that when someone you care about moves away, you can use creativity and compassion, the HFY spirit, to bridge any distance. With a hopeful heart, he knew they would always find ways to reconnect and keep their friendship alive. Riley sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the small framed photo of Jamie. It showed them laughing together on the school steps, holding matching cups of hot cocoa. Jamie had moved to another state 5 months ago, and Riley still felt the emptiness where their friendship had been. Each morning, Riley reached for the phone, hoping for a text or a video call invitation. The silence in the room weighed heavily. Riley missed Jamie's easy smile, the way Jamie knew exactly which joke would bring a laugh, and Jamie's steady support whenever Riley felt unsure. To fill the hours, Riley threw themselves into work at the animal shelter. Each day, Riley fed kittens, walked shy dogs, and cleaned cages. The animals needed care, and Riley felt useful. But each time a kitten purred or a dog wagged its tail, Riley wished Jamie were there to share the joy. In the evenings, Riley tried to study for upcoming tests, but thoughts of Jamie drifted in. Pages of math problems blurred as Riley remembered their shared study sessions where Jamie patiently explained equations and Riley offered snacks and encouragement. One rainy afternoon, Riley wandered into the local bookstore where they and Jamie once browsed together. The owner, Mr. Patel, smiled when he saw Riley. "Looking for something new?" asked. Riley shook their head and moved to the back shelf. Tracing the titles of adventure novels, those books had been their favorite stories of heroes who faced danger but held on to hope. Riley realized that in those tales, the heroes always reached out to each other for strength. Maybe Riley could do the same with Jamie. That evening, Riley cleaned out an old shoebox and collected small items to send. They placed a keychain shaped like a tiny paw to remind Jamie of the shelter work. They added a pressed leaf from the field where they once flew kites. Riley printed a photo of the two of them at the bookstore and tucked it inside. Finally, Riley found a blank notebook and wrote on the first page, "For Jamie, so you can fill these pages with your new adventures." With a hopeful heart, Riley sealed the box and taped Jamie's address to the top. The next morning, Riley carried the box to the post office. The clerk weighed it and placed a bright stamp on the corner. Riley watched it slide into the outgoing bin, imagining it traveling across highways, through towns, and into Jamie's hands. For the first time in months, Riley felt a spark of hope. They believed that even a small gift could remind Jamie of their friendship and open the door to sharing. Again, days crawled by. Riley kept busy at the shelter, drying towels and refilling water bowls. They walked the dogs and read stories to shy kittens. Yet each morning, Riley checked the mailbox, waiting for a reply. When nothing came, doubt crept in. Maybe Jamie had too many new friends, or maybe the box had not arrived. Riley felt sadness again, stronger than before. One sunny afternoon, Riley found an envelope in the mailbox with Jamie's neat handwriting. Heart-pounding, Riley tore it open. Inside was a letter and a small drawing of a puppy with big eyes. The letter said, "Riley, your gift was the best. Surprise, the keychain hangs on my backpack, and the notebook is full of ideas. I miss you and think of you every day. I'm sorry I was slow to write. My new classes and friends kept me busy, but your kindness means the world. Let's talk more soon." Riley read the words again and felt tears of relief and joy. That evening, Riley video called Jamie. The screen lit up with Jamie's smiling face. Framed by a warm bedroom decorated in soft colors, they spoke for hours, sharing stories of new schools, new friends, and old memories. Jamie showed the keychain on the backpack strap and flipped through the notebook pages filled with doodles and notes. Riley had started. Riley laughed when Jamie tried to explain the new city's slang and promised to teach Riley a few words. By the end of the call, Riley felt lighter than they had in months. They realized that distance had changed how they connected, but it had not weakened their bond. Through simple acts of kindness and creativity, Riley had shown the true HFY spirit, humanity's strength to reach out, to care, and to keep hope alive. Jamie admired Riley's caring heart, and Riley admired Jamie's courage in facing a new life. In the days that followed, Riley and Jamie exchanged letters, drawings, and photos. They planned a visit during the school break and promised to keep cheering each other on. Riley understood that even when someone moves away, the human capacity for kindness and hope creates bridges across any miles. With a hopeful smile, Riley picked up the notebook and began writing a new story when they would share with Jamie. Side by side, no matter how far apart they were,